Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I know you're up there advocating for us, and honestly, whatever you're doing is working because we're actually really winning right now. Like, an unbelievable amount of winning. I don't even know what to say. I thank God, first and foremost, for this incredible amount of winning. And I would secondly like to say, rest in peace to a man that I know is enjoying this from another plane of existence, because Donald Trump, President of the United States and Executive Orange Man extraordinaire, made the following tweet. I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. This is what we call unimaginable levels of victory. Like, this is crazy. Like, I've been praying for this day for years. About time, bro. About time. Holy, drone striking Antifa bases? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Holy. So, of course, says this is what Epstein has to say. I am anti-fascist. Are you going to drone me? You're making it incredibly tempting, Steen. It's getting really exciting. Everyone is literally very, very much having a good time here. This is the greatest timeline, truly. Again, don't want this guy to be bombed, but if he's a terrorist, oh well. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can we do? What can we do? If he's a terrorist, like, I was supposed to say. Anyway, the new twist that the left immediately tried to do to this, which is completely based, and we're going to talk about this. This is incredibly important for their country, to be honest, because this is insane. The way that the left is twisting this, and this is hilarious, is that Antifa actually isn't an organization. Antifa is an ideology. It's an ideology that you're anti-fascist. So being anti-fascist is an ideology and not an organization. And because of that, you're basically first and foremost admitting that you are fascist, and second of all, you don't have the ability to make an ideology a terrorist organization. Now, this is the unbelievably unfathomable amounts of gay that some people are spewing onto the timeline right now. And I think I don't actually care. Again, let me introduce you to Nux Doctrine. All right, I need to write myself a couple of tenets. The Nux Doctrine tenets. One of the newest additions to the Nux Doctrine is, I don't fucking care what you say. Your words mean nothing. You're a sack of shit liar. Fuck you and fuck your narrative. You're living in a fake reality. I don't care. This is the new Nux Doctrine mentality, and it's very important. So anytime you see someone spewing an immense amount of gay onto the timeline, engaging is not important. All right. So anyway, everyone's favorite retard terrorist supporter extraordinaire, who's probably going to jail soon, had to say this. Hasan Piker says, anti-fascism is an action, not an organization. This is precisely the reason why this fascist administration, words like this killed Charlie Kirk, by the way, will go after anyone expressing discontent with its fascist policies. So I'm doing a gay voice for Hasan to prep him mentally for his roommate in prison that's gonna have sex with his butthole. Again, hope that doesn't happen, just recognizing the above 0% chance that it does happen. I guess that's kind of what happens when you support terrorists. It sucks. It sucks to be you, man. It really does. So I, of course, responded, Hasan, I'm really worried you might end up in prison. What a scary time. With an image of Hasan giving a speech on what Antifa is really about. Of course the motherfucker's shaking in his goddamn boots. Obviously. Because he supports terrorists. Yes, it's because he supports terrorists. Wow, crazy how this is happening. We're literally living in the correct timeline. We're living in the correct timeline, thank God. Dude, it's unbelievable that we're here. This is an amazing, unfathomably, incredibly positive change for the country. And it hurts my heart that Charlie Kirk isn't here to comment on it. It really does. And I feel like that wound is never going to heal. But that is honestly the turning point. The turning point is, I don't care what you say. You're calling people fascists. You're getting them killed. Fuck you. Fuck your ideology. You are a terrorist supporting freak. And honestly, I'm very excited to call you a terrorist supporter directly. now that Antifa is actually called a terrorist organization. This is amazing. Congratulations for everyone in America that actually doesn't want to be murdered by a terrorist. It's really nice. So I made this tweet because I think it's honestly very important for people to recognize this, because it's true. In response to this, we're Antifa. We're a 10,000% anti-fascist. We deplore fascism. Seem like it's a bad thing to be anti-fascist under a fascist. They're admitting they're fascists. Antifa isn't a group, it's a defense mechanism. It only exists because fascism exists. You see, this is one of the examples that I gave you about the unfathomable amount of cum that is spread by the gays. Dude, I can't even take this shit seriously. First of all, you're self-reporting. You're a terrorist. You should go to jail. All right, that's what happens when you're a terrorist, I guess. Oh, well. 7th grade tactics. Oh, you don't like Antifa? Well, that means you must be fascist, because we're anti-fascist and you're anti-fascist, which means you are fascist. Like, dude, you can play the word games as much as you want. The word games are over. You killed them. You ended the word games when you shot our negotiator in the throat. All right, with all due respect, it's really cute, but I made this tweet, which I think sums up my feelings pretty well. Hey guys, I'm thinking of starting a movement called Kill the Hitlers, where we go out and kill Hitlers. Anyone that I don't like is considered a Hitler. Anyone that I disagree with is considered a Hitler. What do you mean? That's terrorism? I guess you're Hitler then. If you're anti-Hitlers, well, that just kind of makes you Hitler. Now, this is the logic that they're using, and there is no point actually engaging with it other than making fun of it. These people need to be humiliated as much as fucking possible. Kirk responded with, calling you Nazi, Hitler, fascist is not that they actually believe you to be that. It's just making you an acceptable target for violence. Which I completely agree with, by the way. Marketing 101, call them a Nazi, hope someone murders them, celebrate the murder. Both sides should condemn violence. And that's literally what we're dealing with right now. Clearly, the person accusing you of being a terrorist is a Hitler, and he should be killed. Based. Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. This is despicable shit, and honestly, it doesn't need to be toyed with. It's almost like they're saying, as long as you give a just title to your terrorist organization, now you can't actually go after the terrorist organization. My terrorist organization is going to be called The Good Guys. We rape and torture children. We're the good guys, TM, and you can't ever come against us. If you are against us, well, that makes you anti-the good guys, which makes you the bad guys. And that's literally the argument that they're using right now. Like, it's hilarious how pathetic and gay they are. So this is Hasan, obviously crying, crashing out on the timeline. They're openly admitting they're fascist, by the way. First of all, obviously, no, this is literally slander, actually. This is literally slander for anyone that actually cares. For anyone that actually cares, this is slander. It's a lie. No one is admitting to any of this, but he's a leftist, so the truth really doesn't matter. He thinks there's more than two genders. Like, are we really going to take his words at face value? Tim Pool responds, nope, we're the good guys. I love this meme so much. Our flag proves it. If you're against me, you're the bad guy. That's the meme. We call ourselves the anti-bad guy squad, and we label our opponents the bad guys. How can people not understand this? We can never be terrorists because we're fighting the bad guys. It's so simple to understand. Everything we do is justified because of our name. Literally, I fucking love that people aren't even engaging with this argument and just making fun of these people, because it is important for them to be made fun of as much as possible. I firmly believe we need to keep making fun of them. So here's the lore. The lore is President Donald Trump designated Antifa as a major terrorist organization on September 17th, 2025 through a Truth Social post and White House statement, directly linking the action to the recent assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. I'm really happy that it's tied to this. Personally, I'm very, very happy that it's tied to this, and I'll explain to you exactly why. I will explain to you exactly why. Because for far too long, over the last week, and far too many times, I've seen pundits, specifically on the left, trying to frame this as it has nothing to do with left-wing extremism. It's just some deranged guy that killed him, who might even be MAGA. Right? That's why Jimmy Kimmel lost his job. He might even be a MAGA guy that killed him. Yes, he wrote anti-fascist on the bullet, but maybe he was just memeing. We don't actually know. Maybe he was just mentally ill. All right. So the reason why I'm really happy that this is attached is because it needs to be universally recognized that there is a far left, radical, extreme amount of people, over-medicated population on the left that literally wants you dead, and they will celebrate your death. They will justify your death. They will say both sides have issues. You will become a statistic. That's what they want. They want you dead. They want your children to change genders and kill themselves. Okay? I'm sorry if this sounds like hyperbole. It's only somewhat hyperbole. With all due respect, there is a problem in the country, which authorities connected to a suspect with far-left affiliations. The designation highlights Antifa's alleged involvement with violent extremism, including during the 2020 George Floyd protests, riots. Though expert note is its decentralized structure as an anti-fascist ideology rather than a formal entity. That's the argument. This move revives Trump's earlier 2020 efforts and prompts discussions on legal enforceability and implications for domestic extremism classified by agencies like the FBI. I like that we're doing this. I feel like we need to go even further. We need to go a step further than this. I think that it's not even about that shit. Like, dude, we need to bring back the anti-communism shit. I think anyone that calls you a fascist, they're basically signing your death warrant because they want you dead. Right? If you're a fascist, they should kill you. They have to violently uprise, right? That's literally the point. So if they call you a fascist, they call you a Nazi, bro, that shit means they want you dead. It's crazy. So anyway, it's pretty great. The responses to this have been really, really funny. First and foremost, I think it's important to note this is Hasan Piker, largest leftist political streamer. As you can see over here, he has paraphernalia from terrorist organizations in the background. Dude, we gotta fucking take care of this guy. I'm just saying. Look, man, I was salivating at the thought of Hasan Piker going to prison, but now that drone strikes are on the table, no, I'm kidding. Obviously, I don't want him to get drone struck. I just want him to go to jail. I'm a very simple man. But I'm just saying, drone strikes are now on the table. Unlikely? Yes. Do I support it? No. But, all right, anyway, the point is, this is what Legal Mindset had to say. He made a little video talking about it, and I think it's really important because it turns out that Antifa is partially being funded by the Canadian government, obviously. The fucking gay, anti-fascist Canadian government. They're so busy committing the slowest suicide I've ever seen, inviting people into the country that wants to kill them. Shout out to these motherfuckers. So let's see the legal ramifications of this for a second.
This is a big one, and this just came out today. Canada, Trudeau and Canada is funding Antifa. You can't make this up.
All right, so let's understand this for a second. If Antifa is a terrorist organization, and if Canada is funding Antifa, are we at war with Canada? Yeah, like, dude, are we going to be making them the 51st state, like, whether they like it or not kind of thing? Like, I don't know, man. No, but there is actually something wrong with Canada. Canada's gone so far left that they're actually falling off the fucking cliff.
Discord chat platform scrutinized in Kirk assassination used Canadian leftist networks to circulate political target files. Lawyer alleges federally funded Canadian anti-hate network has aided Antifa-aligned groups that are compiling private dossiers on citizens via Discord. You cannot make this stuff up.
That's crazy.
Canada, Trudeau is funding.
Dude, I love that he doesn't even know that Trudeau is not even the Prime Minister of Canada anymore. Oh my god, dude. I love that he doesn't even know. Like, dude, that's amazing. He is such an irrelevant guy. Mark Carney, the current Chinese puppet person in charge of Canada, actual fucking joke of a guy, literally terrible human, in my opinion. That guy's in charge of Canada right now for some reason. And the funniest part is no one even knows that he's there. No one even knows he's real. No one even heard of him, even though he's literally the leader of the country that's literally our neighbors. I saw a pretty amazing, I have to find you this clip. I saw a really funny clip. Hold up. I will take this opportunity to make fun of Canada, yes. Fuck, I can't find it. Damn it, I can't find it. He had this whole clip where he totally forgot who the guy in charge of Canada was. I can't find it now. Anyway, whatever, we'll do that later.
Antifa. This proves the element of foreign support. And
that's it.
As much as we may or may not view our Canadian brothers as foreign, that is a foreign country. And we are not to support the radical leftist views of Canada. And
facts, literally facts, bro, spitting straight fire. You could, honestly, the craziest part, you could designate Antifa not just as a terrorist organization, you could designate them as a foreign terrorist organization. If money is funding them literally from a foreign land,
you're trying to support American far left organizations, right? That is a big deal. This is a massive deal. And I think it's more than enough justification to do this. By the way, they get a lot of money from Germany too. Germany sends a lot of money to Antifa.
This is crazy. This literally should not happen. I'll be honest. I really fucking feel like these people, the globalists, as some call them, the fucking people that are trying to destroy Western civilization with invasion of leftist bullshit, these people are fucking evil. They're so evil. They see that the United States is pushing back against this leftist regime agenda, and they're just yeah, we need to fucking kill these guys. We need to fucking get rid of them immediately. We need to literally fund terrorist organizations to make your life hell. This is crazy.
Money coming in, and that's huge. because stopping the money flow is the best thing
Well, yeah, that's
that
great.
this does. Let's talk about that. This is the authority that they used to designate the cartels. Look at this. You can literally replace the word cartel with Antifa and just copy paste the word Antifa over cartel, and this works. Let's read this for a second. Okay. This order creates a process by which certain, let's say Antifa, right, and other organizations will be designated as FTOs, right, or specifically global terrorists consistent with AIPA, right? International cartels, let's replace this with Antifa. Antifa constitutes a national security threat beyond that posed by traditional organized crime.
Literally facts. I agree. They're trying not only to kill us, but they're trying to subvert the actual culture of our nation. I really do think that that is terrorism.
That's true. Convergence between Antifa and a range of extra-hemispheric actors from designated foreign terrorist organizations to antistic foreign governments. This is true.
This is crazy.
This is true. And I hate to say it, but even Canada, if they're helping, they're an antagonistic foreign government. I'm sorry.
I totally agree. This is terrifying. Holy shit. Dude, so that means Hasan Piker supports another add another one to his list of terrorist supporters he supports. Bro, Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, fucking Tren de Aragua, and Antifa. Bro, big five. Let's go.
I'm sorry. You know, once again, I love Canadians. That's nothing against Canadians, but it's against the government, right? The government is acting as an antagonistic foreign government if they are funding radical groups that are engaging in terrorism in the United States.
Dude, I'm so glad I left Canada.
Right? Are they engaged in complex adaptive systems, characteristic of entities engaged in insurgency and asymmetric warfare? Yes. They're using the same strategy of insurgency.
This is insurgent asymmetric warfare. It's people that engage in violence, that, you know, they mask up, they cover their identities, they blend in with the crowd, they come in, they attack shit, they vandalize shit, they push people, they do riots and protests to try to undermine our actual ideology with theirs. No, absolutely, dude. Abso-fucking-lutely.
In asymmetric warfare. And have they infiltrated into foreign governments in the Western Hemisphere? Yes. All those things would match.
Yes. Holy shit! I didn't look at it from that perspective, but Antifa literally could be categorized exactly the same way as the cartel. Exactly the same way as the cartel. Damn! That's a really, really good take, actually. Holy crap. Anyway, it's very funny because the left, once again, they are gaslighting the public. They are claiming that Antifa does not exist, right? It's not an organization. It's an ideology. They hate fascists, guys. So, it's not like an organization. They think we forgot all the blue-haired, trans, furry kids burning city streets down, attacking our federal buildings for years. Bro, don't believe your own eyes, they tell you. Don't believe your own eyes. What are you fucking talking about? Really? You don't think this is a terrorist organization? Like, come on, dude. What game are we playing? Like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I am fucking sorry, dude. This shit's gotta go immediately. Smash fascism. Every single one. And they're making our nation unsafe. They are radicalizing people to commit acts of violence. Like, dude, like, terrorist recruitment is happening in our nation by these people. They are recruiting terrorists. Now, you're gonna tell me it's a coincidence that the guy that killed Charlie Kirk was part of the American Democratic Socialist Party. And the guy that murdered the 2 Israeli staffers in Washington, D.C. was also part of that same Democratic Socialist Party? You're telling me that 2 of the most prominent terrorist attacks in the United States of the last 1 year were both perpetrated by people in the same fucking group? You're telling me that there isn't an actual terrorist recruitment problem in the United States? Like, what an actual joke. Unbelievable. Dude, I saw the memes. The memes have been absolute cinema, though. We can now drone strike Antifa. Absolute cinema. Oh, yeah, absolute cinema, dude. We can now drone strike Antifa. This is true. Me and my boys hunting Antifa in Seattle. Obviously, we want no violence, but we do appreciate comedy because we're not leftists. So, this is amazing. Now, if you look, American Antifa is an almost entire domestic network, but they do maintain links with Antifa in Canada and Europe. The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, should consider declaring the international manifestations of Antifa as foreign terrorist entities into the United States. For example, this is German Antifa, taking over Leipzig city center and carrying out mass attacks on the public to intimidate judges and prosecutors. All right? You're telling me this is not terrorism? I mean, obviously, the march plus the attacks. Like, the game's over. We see it. It's over. We're not playing the games. Oh, but they hit you with the word games. So anyway, this is Brian Steen saying, I am Antifa. I think you should go to jail for this, honestly. It's time for jail. Time for jail. Sorry, bro. I don't make the rules. It's just a terrorist organization, I guess. Oh, well. And people are going to say that I'm insincere for saying this. I shouldn't be saying these things. he shouldn't be saying his things. What do you mean? He's declaring that he's part of a terrorist organization. We should put him away. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Sorry. So anyway, retards on Twitter decided to pop out of the woodwork. I love it when they do this. Terrorism expert here. Please. Terrorism expert here. You cannot designate an idea as a terrorist group. Like, dude, bro, they're literally fucking getting funded from separate nations to do organized attacks. Like, dude, literally shut the fuck up. There is no organization called Antifa. There's no leadership or funding path, liar. There is no membership. There's also no law in America to charge terrorism. Ask Luigi. Bro, literally not the same thing. The argument against Luigi being a terrorist is that his violence was not a political act. But Antifa is a political act. This is literally fucking bullshit. So, like, we don't need to play these games. All right? What he is doing here is setting the stage to designate any American as a terrorist. That's fascism. Anyone that says that's fascism immediately lost the fight, in my opinion. The argument's it's dead. It's dead, dude. If it's fascism, sir, why aren't you literally rebelling in the streets? How are you this comfortable posting what you feel like on social media if it's fascism? If it's fascism, they'll arrest you for tweets. Literally, fuck off. Don't care. Anyone that says it's fascism, their opinion means nothing. We've gotten to that point. We have. I'm sorry. We've gotten to that point. The guy said it's fascism when he murdered Charlie Kirk. Like, that is what you sound like right now. Antifa when they hear a weird humming noise in the air. No! The are terrified! Look at the poor cry. This is so sad. I feel so bad for them. If you're a it's a tough day for you. Anyway, it gets so much better. They're repeating the Antifa isn't an organization line again. It's like we traveled into the past. They try again and again and again. So hard to make it sound like it makes no sense. How could you possibly declare it as a terrorist line? Expect a lot of liberal and anti-left and left-wing media propaganda in the next few days about Antifa. They will say the movement doesn't organize into groups. Those involved are peaceful. Racial justice activists simply opposed to fascism. They're lying. Again, this is another one of those things that, personally, there is no purpose to even arguing with these people. Arguing with them is inherently flawed. There is an inherent flaw to engaging in debate with these people, and the flaw is they killed Charlie Kirk with the fascist argument. They're still using it. They didn't learn from it. They killed our negotiator, and negotiations are officially over. Sorry, don't care, fuck you. Anyway, a YouTuber asked an Antifa protesters if they could explain to him what fascist is. This is absolute cinema. You have to see it because, I mean, these are the Antifa people. They're fighting against fascism, right? They're not an organization. They're an ideology. Well, let's see what their ideology is.
Do you think that they're fascist? Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, what is a fascist?
A fascist? Oh my god, my brain just blanked. I'm like, I don't have the right word for it.
Yeah, it's fine. I just want to know because I'm young. I just want to be educated. I want to be educated.
Fascist, yeah. More so, it's like just like about being rooted in like believing like that they are like bad. Like it comes from like being better. It comes from like wanting to like. Oh my god, my words are blanking on me right now. I've been screaming too much.
What is a fascist? If you had to like educate the youngins watching.
Like in a Jesus. Yeah, no, in a quick one too. I'm like, bro. Jesus. We've been screaming too long. Brain.
Jesus.
You guys been screaming too long? You need some water. It's fine. I understand.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with. Yep. I'm really glad we're here. Yep. So anyway, you're going to tell me that these people aren't part of a terrorist organization? You're going to tell me that these people aren't in a terrorist organization? They absolutely are. They so are. They're fucking marching. They're not anti-fascist, ideologically speaking, because they don't even know what fascism is. How could you be an ideology that is based on being the counter of an ideology that you don't even understand? So obviously they're part of a group, part of a movement, but they're not actually even remotely part of an ideology because they're fucking retarded. So anyway, absolutely insane that we're even playing this game. So this is retard number one who has no idea what she's talking about. Making believe that fascism is just some sort of nebulous thing where you think you're better than other people, which has nothing to do with fascism, actually, at all. Literally has nothing to do with it at all. Fascism is this idea, whatever. You know what fascism is. I don't need to fucking sit here and yap. And then you get the second one that says Jesus is fascist, which just means congratulations. Your college taught you to hate, religion, hate faith, hate God. Classic. Love that. So anyway, it's just every single fucking time. These people don't know what they're talking about. I bet you that you're going to get the same reaction every time someone's in like a Free Palestine protest to ask them about, anything that's going on in the Middle East. They have no fucking idea. They have no fucking idea. Not even a clue. So anyway, let's look at the one of the last moments of President Joseph Brandon. Let's see what he had to say. This is him giving the Medal of Freedom.
The Medal of Freedom is awarded to George Soros.
To George Soros. #1 fucking donor of Antifa, a terrorist organization, got the Medal of Freedom.
Born into a Jewish family, and George Soros escaped Nazi occupation to build a life of freedom for himself and countless others around the world. Educated in England, he settled in America as he became an investor and philanthropist, supporting key pillars of open societies: rights and justice, equity and equality, freedom now and in the future.
Wow.
His inspiring generosity reminds us all of our capacity and our obligation to stand up to the abuse of power and to be guardians of democracy and all people yearning to be free.
So, chairman, essential chairman of Antifa over here, congratulations, gets the Medal of Freedom. Dude, there's literally, it's fucking insane, dude. I can't believe the woke Jews would do this. Absolutely diabolical. Anyway, so this is what Antifa has been chanting in London. All right, so this is London Antifa. Here's what they had to say. Again, let's see if these are people that we need to unite with. Because remember, the government is, the media is telling us now is a time for unity. Both sides have problems. Let's see if we should unite with these people, guys.
I don't like Charlie Kirk.
Here they're singing Charlie Kirk is in a box. Fight Trump, no to war, racism, capitalism. It's Antifa chanting Charlie Kirk's in a box. Yeah, so anyway, aside from sounding pretty awful and gay, it's really not about left versus right. It really is about good versus evil. I fully agree with this, and there will not be any unity with these people. I do think that this is terrorism in a sense. Yes, it's freedom of speech. Yes, I don't want people being arrested for freedom of speech. All right, don't get me wrong. I don't want to just see people arrested for free speech. All right, obviously. If you're celebrating the murder of an innocent man, then you are endorsing, and in my opinion, inciting the murders of other innocent men if you don't like them. In the previous clip, we saw someone say Jesus is fascist because they think that if you have basic conservative values, they could kill you. They could kill you, and they will celebrate your deaths. These are not people to unify with. These are fucking retarded radical assholes. And with all due respect, it is over. It's over. We've moved past this, and so is Trump, obviously. If you ever needed another reason not to buy the Ghost of Yote video game, here's their lead voice actor. I'm Antifa. So is my wife. This is perfect. This is literally all of the things. All right? Part of a terrorist organization, part of the LGBT community, which you could argue is a terrorist organization. But the T in LGBT stands for terrorist. All right, anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is this seeped in fucking everywhere. It seeped in everywhere. It seeped into all forms of culture, and it's insane. Portland is like a third world country. Watches an Antifa militant hits a federal cop in the face with a board. Like, dude, this is insane. What the fuck is this? Anyway, the cop beats the shit out of him. Look at this fucking terrorist squealing on the street. Look at the overwhelming peaceful protest. Now, again, we can play this game as much as you want. One of the major arguments is that it's a peaceful movement. It's not. Fuck you. So, Hasan Piker keeps cooking. He keeps cooking. All right, I already showed this tweet. He says anti-fascism is an action, not an organization. A lie. You know, it's Hasan. Whatever. We don't trust him. If he's breathing, he's probably lying. If he's speaking, probably lies. So anyway, JD Delay, a homie, said, so for anybody in Seattle who's planning on going to the Christian rock concert this week, this Antifa piece of shit is one of the organizers who gathered his little fuck minions to assault Christians at gatherings multiple other times. This is supposed to be a family event, and they are coming to incite violence. Be careful. Be safe. Just watch this clip.
A Christian hate group is performing...
By the way, a Christian hate group just means a Christian group. Just want to make this clear. According to them, all Christianity is hate because they have morals, and these people hate morals. They are actually anti-moral, so anything with morals is inherently a hate group because, you know, morals mean you can't fucking do whatever the fuck you want in reality, and there are, in fact, some bad things. Antifa is promoting an ideology where there are no bad things. Everything is moral as long as you want it to happen. So this is exactly what's going on here. So Nectatu McGee is saying it's a Christian hate group, and that's literally just because it's a Christian group with basic morals. That is literally what he's saying. Do not let them play the game with you, okay? Do not let them play the game. All right, that's how you win. You win by not even letting them play. Don't debate. Is it a Christian hate group? Isn't it? It's not. They're using words to lie to you and manipulate you and control you. It's not true.
A Christian hate group is...
Right? They consider saying that abortion is murder as a hate group. They consider saying that, you know, let's say you can't become another gender, they consider that as a hate group. They, you know, anything immoral, according to faith, any faith, Christian faith, Jewish faith, any faith, if you have a moral code that's based in a higher power, they hate you and they want you dead.
Forming
I reject your premise. Get the fuck out.
a Christian rock concert at Gasworks Park next week, August 30th. Show up and let them know how you feel.
Yeah, so basically, he's kind of inciting violence. He's like, all right, there's a Christian group there. Let's go kill them. Obviously, he doesn't say that, obviously. But we saw the last time there was a big conservative gathering and an anti-fascist showed up to that party. So I obviously corrected him. He said it's an Antifa piece of shit. I corrected him, you know, politely. It's actually Antifa terrorists. Right? We got to start labeling them correctly. Labels matter. Obviously, they don't care about labels, but I care about labels because I believe in honesty and truth. So I think we just got to be realistic here. So Hasan Piker, everyone's favorite terrorist, I mean terrorist supporter, had to say the following about Antifa.
I am an anti-fascist.
All right, drone strikes! Drone strikes! Trump! We fucking found one! Trump! No, I'm kidding. Obviously, we don't want him dead. We don't want him dead. But, no, we want him arrested. We're simple people. We have morals. So I only want him in jail.
Okay? Fuck this administration. This administration is a fascist one.
All right, so rhetoric like this killed Charlie Kirk, in my opinion. And I feel like we really need to clamp down on this. So anytime someone does this shit, we need to immediately fucking recognize what's happening. Okay? We have to recognize what's going on. If they're calling you a Nazi, it means they will validate murdering you. And you have to realize, even if it is only a crazy person that kills you, all right? Even if it's only a crazy person that kills you, he's talking to millions of people. There are going to be thousands of crazies in his audience. They will kill you, and they will celebrate your death.
I am an anti-fascist. What the fuck are we doing? What's next? Are they going to openly go, nope, we are a fascist government now? They're
I don't think so, because they're not. If they were, you'd be dead.
going to just say that? Is that what we're doing? Because anti-fascism is just fascism.
See, that's how they play the game every time. You see, I am an anti-bad guy, and you are a bad guy. If you are against me, then you are an anti-bad guy, which makes you a bad guy. That's the game that we're playing. I'm actually an anti-fascist, so if you're against it, that means you are a fascist. They use words in the most manipulative way ever. Bro, they forced us for years to call men women and women men. Words mean nothing. Your words mean nothing. You didn't get the memo. Your words are irrelevant.
Bro, don't say that right now. Oh, what the fuck? Get out of here, dude. Listen, you need to understand something, okay? These people are not strong. They're fucking weak. They fear you being united.
I agree. I agree. Hasan, keep calling yourself Antifa. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. The people are weak. The people are weak. Like Sam Hyde, known for being weak, which is why you ducked him. Or me, known for being weak, which is why you refuse to say my name or debate me. Giant pussy.
Okay? We have the numbers. There are Americans of...
Well, we have the numbers. Yes, we lost the popular vote, but we have the numbers.
Good conscience everywhere, okay?
We have the conscience, which is why I support the rape of Jewish women. That's Hasan Piker.
And because they're so fearful that if the people stand united...
Yeah, I don't think he gets it. Do you think he believes what he's saying? If he does believe what he's saying, I think he doesn't get it. I don't think he realizes how fucked he is. Like, dude, he should be paying attention to the how fucked is Hasan Piker franchise. I don't think he realizes how fucked he is.
They'll never be defeated, that they try to pick apart. They try to divide the masses. They try to make an example out of people, okay?
Yeah, like who? Dude, can we just recognize that after they killed Charlie Kirk, instead of right-wing riots, which there were none of, there were left-wing riots. Do you realize how insane this is? How crazy is it that the reaction to them killing our guy is them attacking our guys? Because you're all fucking revolutionary LARPing shitbags. And honestly, I'm really happy you were designated as a terrorist organization.
Okay? And when institutions don't actually respond in defense of the citizens in a country like the United States of America...
What are the institutions supposed to say? What do you want them to say? The citizens have every right to assault your people and kill them if they say things that we don't like what they are.
Especially, okay? If institutions don't respond, if people don't respond, if they actually obey in
what are the people supposed... If they obey...
Fans...
If they obey, are you literally telling your audience to break laws? Dude, he says that he gets taken out of context. every fucking video clip I see of him, he's telling his audience to commit acts of violence and vandalism.
Then, regardless of how weak they are, regardless of how fearful they are, they win.
Yeah, I know,
And
we're
it
winning.
doesn't stop. When they get a victory,
Yeah, we're winning.
They do not stop.
Says the leftist. Says the leftist. Holy shit. Do you realize that the right was so tolerant for so many years? All right? Look, man, you want to cross-dress in public? Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. You want to fucking be called she, her? We'll call you she, her. We don't want to fucking fight with you. We don't care. Okay? We'll call you your thing. And then they're like, yeah, now we literally are allowed to castrate your children, and if you disagree, you're a fascist and we should kill you. All right? That's where it went.
That just emboldens them to dig deeper. This is how it fucking works.
Yeah.
They do
Get
not
cooked.
have enough confidence. They do not have the number.
He is coping so hard. He's going to jail. He's going to be in prison. Oh my God. Remember to bring lube.
There is a lot of discontent against this administration. They do not have the numbers.
Do not believe your eyes. I know the majority voted for them, but it's not true. It's not a majority.
They can't even get the fucking National Guard to be deployed everywhere.
Bro, that's crazy. Because there are legal loopholes and every fucking governor is fighting Trump from stopping criminals to get arrested. Because leftoids are pro-crime and they're trying to stop Trump from arresting criminals. What are we doing here?
They can't do that. And even if they were to do that, there is no guarantee of success because the National Guard is also comprised of your fucking neighbors.
Yeah, and they obey the law because they're good fucking people for the most part. Unlike you and your ragtag band of terrorist-supporting fucks.
Okay? There's no guarantee that those guys are going to be like, all right, well, we're loyal servants of fascism now.
Again, so he is implying that every person in the military, in the police force, every single one of them that is obeying the rules, all right, every single one of them, all of them, is a fascist troop. He's basically saying that every single person in the government is a Nazi, and in my opinion, this is the ultimate endorsement of violence. He's playing the word games so that he could skip around, not actually saying it out loud, but obviously that's what he's saying.
These are the actions of a weak administration. These are not the actions of a strong administration. If they were strong, they wouldn't feel the need to
arrest criminals,
stamp out any sort of discontent.
This is crazy. It's crazy that he's doing this. It's so weak of Trump to want to arrest criminals. Actually, he should stop arresting criminals. Didn't you know that following the law is fascism?
If they were strong, they wouldn't feel the need to try to put the fear of God in your hearts, in your minds, in your soul.
I wish you had the fear of God in your hearts and minds and souls.
To stop you, to make you think twice before you engage in any sort of anti-fascist action.
What the fuck does that mean, engage? Like, bro, you are telling your audience to commit acts of violence. It's so obvious.
Before you engage in any sort of demonstration, because they are afraid. It is upon all of us to make sure that we don't stand down, okay? Today.
All right, so basically they're a terrorist movement, and it's very nice for me. All right, so Antifa is designated as a terrorist movement. I wanted to see how Fox describes it, because I think I did a pretty good job explaining how it's a ideology that's showing up. It's getting major funding. It's fucking attacking us. It's recruiting people. And it killed Charlie Kirk. It killed a good man. And the media is running defense for it by saying maybe he was a MAGA guy. We don't know the ideology. Maybe he was just mentally ill. So the media is running defense for terrorism in our nation. Literally, fuck them. This is the glorious timeline. All right, let's see what Fox News had to say about this.
Okay, lots of news to cover today. Some breaking news today coming out of the White House. President Trump on Wednesday saying that he's designating the left-wing anti-fascist Antifa movement as a terrorist organization.
The
president taking to social media.
Dude, it's so funny that they're so scared and they're like, no, but anti-fascist is fascist. And like literally the response is, I don't care. Terrorist, communist shitbag, go to jail, please, thanks. Dude, it's really funny. I actually think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny. If you're if you're anti-terrorism, then that must mean you're pro-terrorism.
Media saying, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that
You mean they don't have a guy on Fox News that reads his tweets in his voice?
I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. If you're gay, if you're fucking a tyranny. All right, that was rude. If you're gay, if you're retarded, we will kill you. No, I'm kidding. All right, that's too much.
Retired Marine Intelligence Officer and host of the Strap Podcast, Hal Kempfer is here. Hal,
Trump said it. It wasn't me. Trump said it.
We don't have specifics at this hour. What questions do you have about the president's announcement?
Well, Austin, really, the question I have is, how are they going to designate Antifa as a terrorist organization? One of the things about Antifa is, it is, as you said, a movement. It is a bunch of disparate
everyone tries this
individuals, small groups, if you will, that do actions under the banner of Antifa, which is short for anti-fascist. And they've been around for well over...
Dude, the word games are so annoying, bro. Do not fall for the trap, okay? Fuck the word games.
For a decade or more, they've been, very active.
If it's a group of people that are lighting cars on fire and shit, and they're literally like down with Trump, he's a fascist, or they call him a Nazi, or they say that Republicans are fascists, anyone, honestly, that calls Republicans fascists are Antifa, okay? Literally, I'm so tired of the annoying word games. They will use words to basically order their drones to kill you, okay? That's why it's so unbelievably demoralizing. Because it's like, what do you mean? I'm just describing an ideology. But the way they use the words is to literally get you killed. That's the crazy part here. They want you dead. They fucking want you dead. Let me see if I can find this. All right, this is Hasan Piker's uncle, Chank, who runs a leftist show.
These people aren't like fascists. They are fascists. So at this point, I don't want to hear any talk from Republicans about, oh no, guys, we just have simple disagreements. Well, we think we should bust into people's houses, take their kids away from them because they love their kids and they were treating their kids well. We should make the decisions for them about how to treat their kids. And then if they disagree with us, we should make sure they can't leave the state and then stuff them into prison. And in Idaho, life in prison. Life in prison for loving your children. No, Republicans are ugly. They're immoral and they're fascist.
All right, well, I'm glad we're on the same page. If you're a guy that shows up squealing like a fucking sweaty pig and you show up and you make up a totally fake narrative, which is not happening in America, and then you use that to literally call all Republicans fascists, what you are doing is galvanizing your audience to kill us. All right, that's what it is. That's what you're doing. All right, I'm not beating around the bush anymore. This isn't some sort of political ideological label. You are telling your audience to kill us because that's what you do to fascists, right? You got to revolt against fascism. That's what you got to do. You can't just agree to disagree. He says it himself. He says it's not about agreements or disagreements anymore. So again, it's so fucking unreal that we need to do this and play the word games.
If you recall what was going on with the federal building up in Portland, Oregon, that was a lot of folks that were there protesting, doing damage to the building.
All right, so that's terrorism.
Stuff going on there. Did so under the Antifa banner. So my first question is, how are you going to do that? The other question too is, we don't have we don't have clear federal law on domestic terrorism. That's also been a big area of how do you define domestic terrorism versus terrorism per se. So this is saying, well, I'm designating them as a terrorist group, but I don't have a body of federal law which defines what a domestic terrorist group is as opposed to an international terrorist group. He's already kind of gone out there and designated the cartels, the drug cartels, as terrorist groups, so they're narco-terrorists. But this one, I have to tell you that it's making a statement.
The reality is it's difficult. It's difficult to put into words in a way that they could talk to people on how they're going to label it a terrorist group. But yeah, literally super fucking all for it.
For sure. And it probably will focus resources and investigative resources at looking at this stuff. And they do a lot of violence. They've done a lot of stuff over the many years. And they certainly, rank as such as a violent extremist organization.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the lawyers are going to look at this and say, okay, how do you implement?
Yeah, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to say that it's an ideology, it's not a movement, it's not centralized, it doesn't have a leadership structure. Like, they're going to try all the fucking bullshit, but we can't play the game. We can't play the game anymore. Like, there's obviously an issue. There's obviously an issue.
Something like this, because there's a lot of questions on them as an organization per se, and also a lot of questions on, can you have a domestic, even a violent domestic political movement? Can you designate them as a terrorist group under the law, and then how that would be done? So yeah, I got a lot of questions.
Let's expand on what Antifa is. There might be some viewers watching at home who don't track the news day to day quite like you and I do. Can you try and sum up what exactly the point of the group is?
Oh, absolutely. When you get into, first off, there's far left and far right groups, all right? And then there's groups like, ISIS and Al-Qaeda, which are Islamic extremist organizations. There are sovereign citizens who are very violent extremists, and they kind of reject federal government as a whole on a variety of reasons. They reject state government, things like that. And then you have Antifa, which is more on the far left cycle, anti-fascist, some would say leaning more towards the socialist side, but they have been involved.
I don't know, man. I feel like a really easy way to do this, and a lot of people maybe won't want to go this far, but I really think we should. I think we need to start enforcing the Communist Enforcement Act of 1953. I think that it would literally solve so many problems. Like, so in America, we have freedom of speech. Now, the way communism works is violent. Communism is violent always, 100% of the time. There's no such thing as communism without violence, okay? People will tell you communism in practice is really nice, distribute the wealth equally. It's literally not reality, because the obvious example I always give is if we're supposed to split up the wealth between everybody, how do we convince Elon Musk from giving up his billions? How is that going to happen? Like, dude, how is that going to happen? Right? How are we going to get the actual millionaires to give their money to the poor? All of it. How is this going to happen? Through force. The answer is through force. That is the answer. So realistically, communism is violent inherently, and there's no way to actually practice communism without violence. And it also doesn't work. Even if you manage to succeed in violently doing it, it also is a failed system that will not work at all. So with all that in mind, I do believe that communism is inherently a violent system. Therefore, if you are a communist propagandist, I think you are advocating for violence, and it should be treated that way. And advocating for violence is not protected under freedom of speech, just like communism is not protected under freedom of speech, communist propaganda. And I do think we need to start enforcing that shit, because it's basically all of the far left socialist people. Like, that's kind of how that's gonna work. It's all the far left socialist people that are the fucking Antifa movement. Like, they come hand in hand because they want this revolution where they take all the rich people's money. So I really think we just need to start fucking enforcing the Communist Act. We got to make McCarthy proud, baby.
With a number of protests, anything they interpret as fascism, but they seem to focus on a lot of federal law enforcement. It seems to be one of the things that they really kind of look at a lot. And so they've been...
they think all law enforcement is fascism because they should be free to do whatever the fuck they want. But that's not how society works. Fuck off with your ideals. You terrorists now.
You'll see protests out there, and you'll see Antifa signs pop up, and with that, you'll see vandalism and damage to property. Every once in a while, you will see attacks on individuals. To my knowledge, they haven't been doing anything along the line of some of the other terrorist groups. For example, if you recall, Oklahoma City, that was those two. That was one with members was a sovereign citizen, an anti-government extremist. Both of them were kind of anti-government extremists. They blew up the federal building back in 1995. Okay, that was more of a far right thing. Okay, but now they would kind of fall in the same thing. They would also say we don't have a clear organization, so it's not the first time that a terrorist per se or somebody doing terrorism has not had a strong organization that they can point to. That the government could go after, but this is more the far left side. They haven't been doing things along that line, but they have been doing a lot of property damage stuff, a lot of protests, very disruptive. And I think what this does is kind of linking what happened in Utah with Charlie Kirk to the far left, and by extension saying that was Antifa. And it's an interesting connection. I haven't seen anything pop up in the evidence so far that, except for some of the stuff they wrote on the ammunition.
Which was Catch Fascist, and the Bella Ciao, which is the Antifa song.
which was an anti-fascist slogan. That could be interpreted as being anti-fascist, hence the term Antifa for anti-fascist. One could make a connection there. But I think that's pretty much where we are with this, presidential decision, if you will, to designate them as such. And then again, the other question is, does Congress have to do something? Because when I go back to
we shall see.
5, 6, 7 years ago, there was congressional action to go after Antifa. And this is not the first time that President Trump has talked about designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. He talked about this back in 2020. And it appears that maybe whatever he did back then was undone on the Biden administration. So now he's having to go back and redo it. It's this is one for the lawyers. And certainly trying to prosecute Antifa as a terrorist organization or terrorist group, that will be an interesting
we'll see how that happens.
Setting, because there's a lot of things that a judge would have to get clear on that.
Remind us.
Look, ultimately, it's going to be like a labeling issue, It's going to be a labeling issue. They're going to have to figure out exactly how they could label it properly, how they could properly categorize it. Ultimately, that's kind of where we're at. Judges, I know they want to kill us, but there are judges that aren't they want you dead. So I mean, obviously we have to see what they have to say. I mean, yeah, they also want to kill you. It's true, but we have to get their sign off.
What has happened to other groups that the White House has?
Dude, this is literally the fucking Antifa bullshit we're dealing with. Gene commercial. Oh God, literally a nightmare. White supremacy is so back. Assassinated, cheering, and dude, this is not something that we could make peace with. It's not something we could talk our way out of. Not something we could debate our way out of. We saw the last time someone tried to debate their way out of it. It did not go well. So realistically, fuck, man, we'll figure it out, but it'll be great. Let him cry. And there's a reason why Hasan Piker's terrified, because he's Antifa. So it'll be great. Yeah, let's go.
A terrorist organization in recent months?
The other groups were drug cartels. And with those groups, and keep in mind, they're international or transnational. Yeah. So they've been doing things such as with loads of drugs coming across the Caribbean, they have done direct strikes. They have done strike missions. Now, the question on Antifa would be, okay, if they're designated terrorists, could you do some sort of strike mission on them? And I think that would be a lot more difficult to justify because A, it would be on U.S. soil. And as far as I know, most of the Antifa members are U.S. citizens. And I'm sure that the courts would take a dim view
open season on these fucking commies.
Any due process or anything like that, just because of political protest sort of thing. So that would be, one of those.
Hasan Piker looks out of his window on screen. Is that a drone?
Things. The other thing, too, is we've seen some stuff where people have protested and they have said stuff in support of Hamas. Hamas is a...
True! Thank you! Fucking finally! Holy shit! Dude, it's all of them. It's all of them. All these terrorist supporting fucks. No interest in dealing with it anymore in America. There's no look, dude, if America designates something as a terrorist organization, and it passes through the government, which was elected by the people, if it's elected, if the elected people decide that this is a terrorist organization, if you're supporting a terrorist organization, literally get fucked. Get fucked. That's why we have a government. Fuck you.
Designated U.S. terrorist group. There have been some moves to link those protesting
for the record, Hamas is actually fascist.
Hamas against Israel as terrorists themselves. So far, that hasn't really worked out well, except for, of course, if they're not U.S. citizens.
Dude, I'll be real. Hamas attacking Israel on October 7th was the worst military decision I think ever made in the history of military. Bit of a side tangent. But, yeah, that was kind of fucked up.
They have been, as we have seen, they've been accelerated into being deported back to wherever they're from or somewhere overseas. So that has happened as well.
Get him out. So, first of all, if you are not an American citizen, by the way, that Mahmoud Khalil guy that Hasan Piker was fighting to defend for months, that dude's actually officially getting deported. Do love that. Love that W. Huge W. Fuck yes, absolutely. Would love to hear it. So, in my opinion, if you are in the United States and you are not an American citizen, but you're here, but you're not an American citizen, if you support a United States designated terrorist organization, get the fuck out. I don't care if you have a visa, green card, papers, married. I literally don't care. Literally get the fuck out. You're in our country to destroy the West. You are in our nation to destroy Western civilization. Get the fuck out. If you are an American citizen, we need to figure shit out. We need to know what to do. But there is no reason why we should be extending our hand to people that want to destroy us. Like it makes so no sense. And for some reason, the leftists are so hell-bent on destroying ourselves that they open their arms to these people.
I mean, theoretically, take it to the nth degree, you say they're terrorists, but you'd still have to show a clear and present danger in order to do some sort of direct action thing on these.
Yeah, again, I don't think anyone's endorsing drone strikes on college kids because they're protesting. I don't want that, but I do want them to go to jail. I want them to literally regret with their whole heart what they've done, to the point that other people won't want to do it. It turns out arresting criminals really stops crime.
They'd have to be engaged in something where you still have to follow the rules of force in terms of, or the escalation of the use of force in terms of whatever's done.
Yeah, so drone strikes, not likely. All right, not likely. See, I actually do, however, support drone striking the college. If the college is fucking churning out the trans Tifa people, I actually do support drone striking the college. Like, you know, they could drop flyers. You know how, like, Israel does before they drone strike buildings? They drop flyers saying, hey, in 30 minutes we're drone striking. Everyone leaves. And then, that's what I want to see. I think it would be glorious. Yeah, it would be awesome. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed. I did. I love that we're labeling the people that want to kill us as terrorists, actually. I know it sounds pretty basic when you put it that way, and that's because it is. They want to kill us. Destroy them. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.